When my son was in school, he was an expert at making excuses. Usually, these were excuses about why he wasn't succeeding, why he didn't do his homework, why he didn't pay attention. And the excuses often were related to the teacher. He would say things like, well, she's too happy all the time. She bothers me. Or, there was the one, he has bad breath. That was his excuse for not paying attention to this particular teacher. And there was another one who didn't laugh at his jokes. So he would dismiss those teachers. He would make excuses for his own choices and behaviors because of what he perceived was wrong with the teachers. Now, our answer was always the same. We would say, you don't have to like the teacher. You don't have to like the way the teacher acts, but you do have to learn from that teacher and show respect. We tried really hard to help him make the distinction between his emotional or visceral response and what he still needed to get out of the situation. You know, he's not alone. We all do this. We have trouble sometimes separating the message from the messenger. When we don't like someone or don't trust someone or don't know someone, we can very easily reject what they have to say without ever giving it a fair chance. And then when someone has said something we disagree with, we can really go to extremes to reject everything they have to say from that point forward. In argumentation, this is known as personalizing the attack or personalizing our reaction. You don't want to personalize the attack to make it about that individual. You'll be much more effective if you discreetly pick out the argument or the position that you disagree with and attack that instead. See, when you personalize, you cause defensiveness and you make it about the individual instead of dignifying the individual and keeping it to the issues at hand that you're trying to discuss and evaluate. As often as you can, depersonalize what you put out there and depersonalize your interpretation or your receptivity to messages that you're hearing. Be really careful. To be a good critical thinker, you shouldn't judge a person by a single idea that they've offered. You shouldn't extrapolate because they believed this doesn't necessarily mean that they also believe this and this and this. So don't assume. Take one narrow piece at a time instead of trying to do a blanket evaluation that's going to involve some assumptions about that individual. What I'm describing to you is called taking an objective stance. No matter how you feel about the person, no matter what else that person has or has not said or done in the past, no matter whether they have good breath or bad breath or whether they laugh at your jokes or not, you need to maintain an objective stance because that's your best chance at being able to truly remain objective and solid in your critical thinking. And this is where you get your advantage. It's where your mental might puts you head and shoulders above everyone else who's resorting instead to lazy thinking and to an imbalance of emotion over reason. Maintain that objective stance and you'll always have an advantage.